This video will explain the concept of coherence in writing. By the end of this video, you will be able to answer the following questions. What does coherence mean? Why is coherence important? How does coherence affect pre-writing? And how does coherence affect revising? Let's begin by defining coherence. What does coherence mean? Think of the other ways you've heard this word. When someone is speaking coherently, it just means that they're making sense. Coherence in writing means the same thing. It just means that you're presenting your ideas logically. One idea is presented completely before you move on to the next idea, so you avoid bouncing around from idea to idea. So why is this important? Well, when you write, you are leading your reader to your main point, and you want to get the reader to that main point in the most direct way possible. Think of it as giving directions. You want to get somebody from point A to point B very directly. You'd rather provide them with a straight path than with a set of twists and turns that actually takes longer to get to the destination than it would have if you would have just been more streamlined. When you're writing, you want to present your ideas one after the other in a logical pattern. You don't want your reader walking around in circles. So now that we know what coherence is and why it's important, let's look at how it affects the writing process. We already know that the first step of the writing process is pre-writing, generating your ideas before you write. We also know that after you pre-write, you draft, or you write your ideas in sentences and paragraphs. But if you do one minor half step in between pre-writing and drafting to check for coherence after you pre-write, you'll save yourself a lot of time later when you go to revise. So I recommend that after you pre-write, you check your pre-writing for coherence before you begin drafting. Let's look at an example of how we can check pre-writing for coherence. Here's a topic that a student is pre-writing about, and the topic is the benefits of going to college. In a brainstorming list, the student has come up with the following ideas: get an education, get a better job, meet new people, set an example for my kids, make more money, and have new experiences. We have an awful lot of ideas in this particular brainstorming list. One is to get an education. And that's kind of an idea all by itself. But we also have two details about employability, getting a better job and making more money. Then we have two details about experiences that you can have in college, meeting new people and having new experiences. And then we have the final detail about setting an example for our kids. If we order our pre-writing list and group these ideas by their subtopics, we already have a nice organized pattern to go with when we begin to sit down and write. That way, we will write in the same order that we've listed these ideas, and we won't have as much work to do when we revise later. So let's also look at an example of how coherence affects revising. Here's a paragraph written on the same topic that we looked at from our brainstormed list, the benefits of going to college. Let's see what this student came up with. There are many benefits to going to college. Well, that's our topic sentence. So that tells us that everything else in this paragraph should be a benefit of going to college. We have, you will get an education. You can get a better job with higher pay when you have a college degree. You will learn math, writing, and communication skills. You will be an expert in your field. You are more employable. College is worthwhile because you can meet new people and have new experiences. You can set an example for your children by showing them that you value education and can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Well, what did you think of this paragraph? First of all, I will notice and commend the writer that everything is relevant. Every sentence is a benefit of going to college, and so that's a good start. But this paragraph did not flow smoothly at all. It was very choppy, and it seems like we were bouncing from idea to idea. But there are a lot of good ideas in here, so I don't want to get rid of anything. I just want to reorganize the ideas so the paragraph flows more smoothly and is more coherent. So let's look at these ideas in here. First, we had the idea of education, and this is mentioned in two different sentences. But as you can see, they're mentioned a little bit far apart. They're not grouped together. Then we have the idea of employability. Again, This is mentioned twice to get a better job with higher pay and to become more employable, but these two sentences that discuss this idea are separated within the paragraph. A third idea presented in this paragraph is to the experiences you can have in college, and then the fourth idea is how to set an example for your kids. When we're trying to revise for coherence, we need to identify the ideas in the paragraph and then decide on the order in which we want to present the ideas. So I'm suggesting that we present the ideas in this order: education, employability, experiences, and then setting an example. And then we reorganize our sentences within our paragraph to put them in this order. There's one other thing we need to do, and that is to add transitions. Transitions are words or phrases that connect your ideas, sentences, and paragraphs to help your writing flow more smoothly. They show when you're moving from one idea or paragraph or sentence to the next so that it doesn't seem like you're bouncing around. Let's look at a revised paragraph, the same paragraph, just reorganized and with transitions included. Here I have underlined the transitions so that you can see where they are, and I've also indicated on the sides of this paragraph how I have included the various ideas we've discussed. So now our paragraph reads like this: there are many benefits to going to college. The first benefit is that you get an education. You will learn math, writing, and communication skills. Plus, you will be an expert in your field. As you can see from this part, I grouped all the sentences about education together, and I also began this with the transition, the first benefit is. Now let's move on to my second idea, employability. Another benefit of going to college is that you are more employable. You can get a better job with higher pay when you have a college degree. Again, I use the transitional phrase, another benefit of going to college, to signal that I am now finished talking about education and am going to talk about something else. And I took the two sentences that were about employability and put them together. Then I've moved on to the idea of experiences. Besides an education and employment, college is worthwhile because you can meet new people and have new experiences. Here I've used a different type of transition. I didn't want to keep saying another benefit is. So instead, I summarized the first two benefits before presenting my new benefit. And then I ended my paragraph with the idea of setting an example for your kids. And I've started that sentence by using the transitional phrase, finally. Finally, you can set an example for your children by showing them that you value education and can accomplish anything you set your mind to. After revision, this paragraph flows much more smoothly. It's easier to read, all of our ideas are presented more logically, and the inclusion of transitions has really helped guide the reader through our train of thought.